Hey, today I'll be showing all assault rifles maxed out with the best attachments. I'll share my honest thoughts and rank them on a tier list. Plus, I've tested each one across every faction, and there's so much more I'll be covering. If you could show some love by hitting the like button below, I'd greatly appreciate it. Let's jump right in. We're going to kick things off with the Liberator Penetrator. This weapon can transform into a mini machine gun, but before we jump into the gameplay to show it off, let's go over the custom weapon and check out all the attachments. We've got iron sights for better ergonomics, but if you want improved sights, you can swap them out. I'd recommend either reflex sight, holographic sight, or reflex sight Mark II. Now below that, we've got a flashlight vertical grip to keep things tighter when aiming. It'll make sense soon, by the way, because the next attachment is a muzzle brake. Lastly, we've got a drum magazine for extra ammo. Now, I'm going to try this out in-game and see how it performs. The first faction I tested was the Illuminate. Their voltless units don't stand a chance when you're firing a Liberator Penetrator at them. It dominates them easily, and you can crowd control effectively thanks to the drum magazine, a super handy magazine. Against all Overseers, whether Crescent Overseers or the ones we've had since December, this weapon's medium armor penetration shreds through them, through their helmets and chests with ease. I took out multiple Overseers quickly, and it was a blast to keep firing without stressing about ammo. Not only that, you can also use the Liberator Penetrator to take down Harvesters roaming around, and it's great for dealing with interlopers, or as I like to call them, interloppers. Against Terminids, this weapon tears through Hive Guard armor like butter. It's amazing. If you need to take out hordes of bugs, look no further. The Liberator Penetrator can keep up with the massive waves of bugs that flood in, whether it's Brood or Alpha Commanders. It's also great for blowing up the abdomen on a charger and taking out nursery spewers. The automatons, on the other hand, are where this weapon shines the most. In my opinion, bots have tough armor, but thankfully the custom lib pin is a medium armor penetrating weapon with plenty of ammo to dish out. It'll penetrate most bot armors except for Hulks, of course. However, it's incredibly effective against reinforced scout striders if you aim directly at the pelvis. It's enough to stop them in their tracks. Devastators can be destroyed by aiming for their heads or shooting through their armor. And not to mention, you can also use it to destroy those pesky gunships by aiming at their engines and keeping up the fire. As you can see, it doesn't take much or long for me to pull that off. With this custom Liberator Penetrator, you can take out a wide variety of automaton units quickly and easily. By far, this custom Liberator Penetrator is an amazing weapon that I believe is S tier worthy, practically a mini machine gun that'll help you out in any situation against any faction. It's an incredible weapon to max out. Coming up next, we've got the Liberator Carbine, which I believe deserves a A tier status. I'll explain why in just a moment. First, let's go over the attachments I thought worked best. I went with the tube red dot. If you're not a fan of that sight, you can choose any options below it. I avoided the combat scope as it decreases your ergonomics. For the underbarrel, I chose a flashlight vertical foregrip to tighten up the bullet spread. Additionally, we've got a compensator, and lastly, a drum magazine for crowd control. As I said a few moments ago, the Liberator Carbine is absolutely A tier material. Now let's talk about the custom Liberator Carbine. While it doesn't pack the same medium armor penetration as the Liberator Penetrator for tackling medium shielded enemies, it shreds Overseer armor in seconds. Its fast fire rate paired with the drum magazine makes it incredibly fun to use and a highly viable weapon on the battlefield. It's amazing when you're taking down a flesh mob solo, just shoot all the heads, then swing behind to finish the job by destroying the remaining heads on the back. The fire rate makes it almost instant. I don't even need to mention the Volus. This weapon's crowd control is a lifesaver when they're ganging up on you. The next faction, it's a blast to use against the good old Terminids. It's a game changer when you're facing tons of bugs. You might be wondering about Hive Guards. Sure, they've got medium armor, but if you aim directly underneath or at their sides, you can take them out easily. Plus, you can always rely on your trusty Senator to handle enemies with medium armor. Oh, and we can't forget about the Chargers. If you use a stun grenade and get right behind one, you can unload on its abdomen and it'll burst quickly, thanks to the insane fire rate and ammo capacity of this weapon. The automatons can be trickier to handle if you're not aiming for the head or the center of the Devastator's body. It's less effective if you don't do that. Basic enemies, especially the Jet Brigade, are super easy to decimate. Hulks with their heavy armor are tough to take down, but you can use the same strategy as before with the Chargers, stun them, then quickly move behind to shoot their heat sinks. Besides those enemy types, gunships are nearly impossible to deal with alone with just using the Liberator Carbine, so bring a support weapon or take them out with a Senator. Yes, you can take them out with the Senator. Try it out. Also, if you would like to defeat reinforced Scout Striders, make sure to shoot their rockets, and that'll do the job unless you use the Senator to plow right through the middle section. There's no point in aiming for the pelvis since the Liberator Carbine is a light penetration weapon that can't pierce through their armor. Next up, we've got the Adjudicator. It's a solid A tier pick. I'll explain why soon. Anyways, in the customization menu, I chose the Reflex Sight Mark II. Any option above that works well, even below that. For the underbarrel, I stuck with the flashlight vertical foregrip to tighten the bullet spread, and for the muzzle, we've got the compensator attached. This one could have been S tier, but sadly, there's no option for different magazines. Still, it's a powerful weapon, super accurate with these attachments. It slices through overseers effortlessly, especially with headshots. Volus are no challenge, and flesh mobs are manageable. It's decent, but you'll burn through the magazine fast. For interlopers, this weapon is quite handy thanks to its medium armor penetration. Terminate hordes are straightforward to handle, though it's not built for crowd control. You can take down tougher enemies like Predator Strains and Hive Guards with medium armor. Other enemy types like Nursery Spears and Stalkers fall quickly to this weapon. Against automaton enemies like Reinforced Striders, it's a beast. Just aim for the pelvis and you can drop multiple Striders when they gang up on you. Not to mention, you can shred through gunships like they're nothing. Just make sure to target the engines or thrusters on the side. Basic enemies are quick work, and it doesn't take much to blast the heatsink on the back of a Hulk. Moving on to the next, we've got the Liberator, and this right here is actually pretty good. We've got iron sights. Again, you could choose a different one if you would like to. We've got, of course, the vertical foregrip. Then for our muzzle, this is where I think things get a little bit more interesting. It tightens up a little bit here. We're using the flash hider and the drum magazine, just so that we can take out multiple hordes of enemies. So the Liberator is technically the Liberator Carbine's stepbrother or brother in general, and yeah, it's amazing. However, the fire rate is not the same, but it's pretty accurate. And the fact that we've got a magazine that's a drum magazine makes it even better. You can take out multiple Volus. It's easy for crowd control, and when it comes down to the Volus, they're not going to stand a chance. And on top of that, we do have the Overseers, which you can penetrate their armor quickly, including the Crescent and the normal Overseers. Both versions of these enemies are the same health, same armor, nothing's different. Now, besides those enemies, we do have the new Flesh Mob enemy, and this one is quite easy to take down too. It's similar to the Liberator Carbine. You just have to shoot all of the heads in the front, go to the back, shoot the rest, and then at that point, it should drop. Alrighty, for the Terminates, this weapon right here is incredible, and you know what? It's a starter weapon. Like, you get this weapon right at the start, and when you upgrade it, it's even better. Especially on the Terminates, you can take out multiple bugs, including Brood Commanders and the Alpha Commanders. You might have some trouble with the Hive Guards, but again, same situation applies here with the Carbine. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to aim for the sides or aim underneath, and that's basically all you need to do. Lastly, we've got the automatons, and to be fair here, you're going to probably struggle a little bit. The reinforced Scout Striders are difficult unless you're shooting straight at the rockets. Otherwise, shooting in the pelvis is just a bad idea. You will not be able to penetrate through it. And if you're fighting the normal Scout Striders, you'll want to go around it, of course, and shoot it. There is obviously the other enemy types, like the Devastators, Shielded Devastators. Shoot them straight in the dome. And when it comes down to the Hulks, you just shoot them from behind like usual. So all in all, is it S tier, A tier, B tier? What type of tier is it? I think for this one, I'll give it B tier. Mainly because of the fire rate, it's not there, but it's still an effective gun that you can use on the battlefield, and it'll benefit you quite a lot. What we have next is the Tenderizer. Yes, the good old Tenderizer. Now, I do like the Tenderizer quite a lot. We've got the 4x combat scope, and then on top of that, we're going to move over towards the underbarrel. And I think this is going to be the same situation here. Vertical foregrip to keep things tighter together. Then when it comes down to muzzles, we're going to be using the muzzle brake. And this will, again, keep things sort of tight together as best as we possibly can. So when it comes down to using this weapon, is it B tier, A tier? What tier do I think it is? I think it's B tier. Now, the reason for that is I feel like if it had more ammo behind it or a way for me to change the magazine, that right there would step it up to A tier, I think. Maybe S tier. Now, to say that this weapon is bad would be the wrong thing to say because it's not. It's great for penetrating through a lot of armors, such as the Overseer's chest plate. You can penetrate through that easily, but you're not going to be able to penetrate through armor that's medium. If it is, you're going to have a difficult time. This same situation applies to all armors, whether it's hive guards, automatons and their devastators, certain enemies like the scout striders, reinforced scout striders, stuff like that you might struggle a little bit against. But again, you can aim for the Devastator's heads and take them out that way as well. Now, on the other hand, we do have the Volus enemies. Those are easy to take out. When it comes to the new Flesh Mob type, yeah, you're going to struggle a little bit because you're going to have to aim at all the heads and then you're going to be tossing magazines away. Again, this kind of goes back to what I was saying. We need more ammo here. If we're able to adjust the magazine or change it later on, I'd absolutely love that. But as for right now, I think it's definitely a B tier weapon. Alrighty, last but not least, we have the Liberator Concussive. I'm using the Reflex Sight Mark II. Feel free to switch over to Iron Sights if you would like that instead. When it comes down to underbarrel, we're using the vertical foregrip again. You're going to see a common theme here with these assault rifles because I use the vertical foregrip quite often. And the drum magazine, of course. I just feel like it's a really good, solid weapon, especially if you're using it against the Terminates. However, when it comes down to some of the other enemy types, like the Volus or even the Terminates, it's probably not the best option, because you have better options out there to use on those specific enemy types. So I'll show some clips here. I'm just going to go over this briefly because I feel like it's really hard to show you how good it is, when in reality, it's not that great against those enemies. So, like I said, if you're using this on the Terminates, specifically the Predator strain, it's absolutely great to use. It's a great crowd control weapon. It will be able to stop them from flooding towards you, and just overall, you'll have a better experience with it. Other enemy types, like the other factions, not so much. It's kind of a struggle, especially if you're trying to approach a flesh mob. I would highly not suggest doing that. With that said, I'd say this weapon right here deserves to be at B tier, maybe C tier. And the reason for that is, again, it's not that effective against other factions. Lastly, we have the top 3 comments. If you Helldivers would like to be featured, just comment below. The first one is from This Pineapple Life, and you wrote, "And the stratagem bounces on." Yes, it does, my friend, and it will continue to do that forever, it seems, because the developers have yet patched that specific bug. I freak out every time it happens. The second top comment is by Shelster Dude. The most frustrating 2 bugs aren't on their list. Inability to reload either your primary or secondary until you swap weapons. Ragdolling leaves you helpless and unable to get up or stand for about 3 seconds after hitting the ground. Yes, absolutely, I've experienced both of those bugs, and I'm not entirely sure if the new patch introduced that bug or if it was the previous patch. The third and final comment is by CS Smith Productions. My guard dog was leaving to go on picnics instead of returning to the backpack for reloads this morning. That right there is another bug that's pretty common as of right now. I've actually talked about that in another video. Hopefully that one will be resolved. Anyways, thank you all for commenting, subscribing, and doing all that. Speaking of which, if you can, I would greatly appreciate it if you tap the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications below if you haven't already. With that said, I'll see you in the next one.